Today's date, May 5th, 1998. Here's George in front of the place. What's the name of this place, George?
What, the Brick House Restaurant?
The Brick House Restaurant, okay.
Well, here's the sign over here.
Okay. Brick House Restaurant. We're going to have breakfast here. Amana Furniture.
Go over and get these two.
Incredibly, would you believe that all of our refrigeration appliances, the refrigeration unit in the hotel, was all Amana? Yes, I think I understand. Here we have the papered end. Maddie's, Verladen, fine apparel. Just a quaint place. Here we are, approaching the entrance to our breakfast place.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can I help you?
You want breakfast?
Two?
Two.
Would you like to come this way?
Yeah.
You're ready.
This is inside the restaurant.
I'm ready. Are wir ready? Hat alles gut geschmeckt? Seid ruhig du?
Ja.
Alles gut geschmeckt?
Ja.
Habt ihr gut gefressen? Speck, Eier und Pfannkuchen.
Oh, das ist sehr gut Sprech.
Sehr gut.
Jawohl. Vielen Dank.
Vielen Dank. Das ist ein Mädchen an, wie sagt man? An served you, see?
Ja.
She's a nice girl, come from Norway.
Norway.
Well, Norway.
Oh, okay.
Good worker, okay.
Okay.
Dankeschön.
Vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen, ja.
Tschüss.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, here's little brother with round two.
Be in 3 or 4 states.
The breakfast family style was just truly
How long are you
outstanding.
on vacation? For 2 weeks?
This is our waitress,
Weekends on both ends.
Oh,
chatting
that's nice.
with the bro.
About 9 and 10
I
days.
guess that's it.
Oh, wait, that's nice. Today?
Just for today.
I can't stop this thing from recording.
For 7?
I did.
Wait a sec.
Huh?
Come here. You've been really nice to us. I want to do you something special. Here's your tip.
Thank you very much. No, thanks.
He just printed
Okay.
it.
I just printed it last night.
Oh. Here's the other side. I never saw that. Look. That must be the back side.
That's in the snow.
It's nice, isn't it?
No, it's gorgeous.
Beautiful. It's got a weight room and everything.
Thank you
Oh.
very much.
Wait a minute. Well, the incredible things about the Amana Colonies is that these people who were so industrious developed a great amount of industry here, and you'll recognize the name Amana, which is where these things are produced right here in the colonies. So Amana Appliances, this is the home of them right here. Okay, we're going to go now and visit a little blacksmith shop. This is Rogers Anvil, and they have ironwork produced here. It's still a functioning machine shop, but it's got a little museum in it, so let's see what's inside. So this is inside Rogers' machine shop. You can see the type of tools that he has, and they're actually in production now of wall brackets.
Everything sold in here is made here.
This gives you an idea of the ironwork that's produced here, and everything that's sold here as far as the ironwork stuff is produced right here in the little shop. You can see the overhead shaft that goes across. It was originally powered by the mill, and they had belts coming down that turned the machines, the lathes and so forth that were used in the shop.
It was actually turned by a water wheel in the millwrights.
Okay.
They built everything in the woolen mill, everything in this building, and everything in the wood shop next door.
I'll be darned. So it actually did several buildings at the same time.
Right, line shaft was about 500 feet long, the main drive. And the water wheel is still capable of running, it's just that the mill race right now is damaged from the 93 flood. And the generators back there now is capable of producing 350 horsepower of power. So they had a lot of power.
Yeah.
There was also a grist mill on the south side of the mill race that was also powered by the water wheel.
I'll be darned.
Okay, notice this device over here. Over here. There's wooden screws. And so powerful you have to put a bar through there and turn it. You can really put the screws to you with that.
Right. Okay. This machinery is quite big and quite powerful, but it was powered by the mill. You can see the belts in place in some of the. Hey, whoa! And how that actually turned. This shaft, as the man just told us, is like 500 feet long and extends into other buildings. Here you can see some of the presses.
10 snips.
Check these snips out. These. It looks like a big alligator. Well, you could snip some heavy-duty stuff with that.
There's a grinding stone over there.
Fairly large grindstone that probably sharpened some of their tools and honed down some of the parts that they were making. This is a huge metal lathe. Here they put bars on there and up to, looks like 6 or 7 feet long, and turn it with the belts from the mill and run this lathe and carve intricate designs into these bars on whatever they wanted to lathe. And here's a large, Fran will be interested in this. This is a large saw. You can see the saw blade right here. But this would cut through metal or anything else. It's just huge. We're talking about the mama of all drill presses right here. Check the size of this drill. Comes down. This thing is huge. But the point is, you know, it's ancient equipment. This is how it was driven, through this rotating shaft with all the belts off of it. This would generate 350 horsepower. Give you an idea of the size of this thing. Now this view shows the shaft that extends from one building to another as it goes across. And you see it's encased in wood, probably just to keep the weather off of it so it didn't get rusty. This is the other building over here that the shaft went. Some more production takes place over there.
Here's some shots around Amana. Obviously the woolen mill. Panning around this small, quaint little place. Give you an idea of what it looks like down the street. And there's Vince in the car, about to run over me. Well, continuing down the street, looking at the kitchen sink. Going down this way, we're going to go to the Amana Furniture Store. And right across the street over here is Village winery. And I think maybe later on we might go to visit Krause's Furniture. Okay, there's the Schnitzel Bank candy store. Amana. Looking good. Schnitzel Bank. And then going up this way. Yo! And we're right across the street from the furniture store. Well, there's little brother getting out of the car. And in front of the store we have a nice tree. Room. Lady out here relaxing. And everything is festooned with colorful ribbons. So I think we'll go inside.
Okay, here's where we'll go into the Amana Furniture Shop. They've done this since 1854. Well, the time is 10:24, and they conduct tours, as you see here, 10:30 and 1. So guess what? We're going to take a tour of this place. This gives you an idea of some of the things inside. Some of the interesting furniture pieces. Well, this bed is something else. Things are a little pricey, but for good reason. This looks like good quality stuff. Okay, we just walked into Clock World. This thing is full of these beautiful big clocks. Big brother wants me to walk down here, so guess I have to do what he says. Whoa! Lots of clocks, lots of clocks. You can hear these things just singing to us. Where? These are beautiful. Big, beautiful clocks. I'm very safety cautious here.
Some of these are larger than others.
It's passing out safety.
Need a larger pair holler.
It's going to give me a larger pair. I'd have to come my own glasses. Thank you. Not much different than most furniture production areas. Hi. Where are you at? There's a mortizer.
Lumber comes from Joppa, Illinois, so we really don't know where it comes from. We use mainly tree woods, walnut, which is about 60 to 65% of our production, and cherry and oak. We'll split these. Back here, what happens, you have everything we build as a rough material list, cutting list, and a finish list. These 3 sheets of paper go along with the project from the time it gets out here, they'll leave the guy's base. Every item we build is built by one man. Each item is built by one person. We don't rely on anything. Starting from the basic lumber to the finished product. In here, this girl in here that does our rough cutting, she cuts everything to length, 2 inches long than what the finished side of that board is. You'll see them stacked on these cards all over the place. We touch the ends on all of our products. This is the problem they're having nowadays. End check, so we lose every on each board. We lose this much on each end, sometimes even more. We figure our loss on oak is about 50%. Walnut about 20. Cherry, and it varies. Sometimes you can use it almost to the end of the board. Then you get some boards that come in like that have. This one doesn't really have too many checks in it. But sometimes you wonder why furniture costs so much money. when you pay $1, about $4, $3.50 to $4 a foot for walnut, and you throw 25% of it away, you see what happens.
These are jigs from about 50 years of making patterns and so forth. All saved here for future use and from past use. Yeah, this gives you some idea of the inside of the factory here. There's Big Brother over there. This is a big glue press. See the size of that puppy and how it's used. An hour and a half after it's glued, you can pull it out and then you can work with it and nail it. This is a big cleaner.
See where you want to cut it. Cut that line, that laser line right down.
That's actually a laser.
Lead up for a light. You can see the red line on the.
Okay, this actually has a laser line on it. You
See got a long board. It really doesn't follow the fence. It's going to make the curve the same as the fence. So you get back here, up to here, you can see it on the floor. All the way down here. Get back.
See the red laser line right on the floor.
Hold it there, let go, then draw it right through. It'll cut right on that line.
But the laser isn't doing the cutting. The laser's doing the line.
It's a line.
Okay. Laser line cutting.
Looking into that thing.
The laser line.
And dining room chairs. I take that back. That's those two items. Everything else, I think you take a dozen china cupboards. Probably 2 will be what's in the catalog. The other 10 will either somebody wants one that's an inch taller or an inch lower or 2 inches wider.
So custom
or have different
tailored
patterns or something. Yeah. It's all custom built.
It's beautiful. What sort of production do you have here in terms of number of pieces per day?
Oh, that's hard. I wouldn't want to guess. Some items, the guy that builds hutches, if he takes off, say, three at a time. Not necessarily, they're all within a certain size area that he can machine everything at one time. He'd probably spend 2 weeks with 3 hutches.
Okay. 2 weeks with 3 hutches.
Yeah. Okay. The guy that makes their beds, depending on what type it is, he just builds 6 sleigh beds. I think it took him about 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. He makes one, it'll probably take 2 weeks.
You end up with a pretty quality product doing that then.
That's the thing.
Can you tell who produced each piece? I mean, did they put their signature on it?
Off of the bench, when it's done, the guy puts his name on it, the job number, the date it was completed. Right. We can go back 40 years and we can tell you who built what. 9 out of 10 times the person is here anymore. There are only 4 of us here that have been here 30 years or longer. 2 of us are retired, including me.
All right.
We just come in for part-time work.
That's a great concept. I love it. This is the gluer. He's explaining how to use it right now.
That thing tightens it up. Let down. I have a ton of pressure on these screws. It's in here. I'll do
Here's a guy working on some little stools, little three-legged stools, getting them ready to glue them. There they are. Stooling.
Nothing else is really big. It's really boring to come in at night. You go downstairs and see these names, your name stands up. You know the fact that there's more on the window at night.
Mine Bill Sander. That's going to be the mother of all Sander.
It is.
Look at the milk signs over there.
What?
The milk.
This gives you an idea of the size of the belt that goes through the sander. This is the belt sitting over in the corner. This thing would be, here's another sanding machine. Right, same area as this huge repair. It's one big mama sander.
This guy and where
He does this, he fixes a bunch of clocks there a couple of weeks ago, whatever. He's also one of the retarded that got called.
But the guy that does like the beds, does he do like the entire bedroom set or just the bed part?
Makes the beds. He also makes the chairs and the bookcases. Whatever size you want. And once in a while, like I say, he was caught up in bed, so he's making wing mirrors. Right here to the
You see the date and number on here. This tells you who actually made this thing. And this is a clock. See it here? Okay, here's a clock that's being produced. His brother's pointing out some features on this thing. It's a fine looking clock. They do some really nice work with it. Just incredible. As you can see here, there's a name on there. It says Willard Geiger. Well, let's meet Willard Geiger. Here he is right here working on this clock. How long does it take you to build one of these, Willard?
Oh, it varies probably from 22 to 30 hours depending on the number of options and how fancy the options are.
So if they get a little extra thing on there, then it just takes a little more time
Yeah,
to take care of it?
you can put overlays on the top, or you can put pearl on the overlay.
Oh, yeah.
So, or you don't have to put nothing on there. It depends on how particular, how fancy you want to make it.
Do you get some, can you use your own initiative on how you design these, or do you go from work orders
You go
on
by
it?
the customer's idea,
Okay.
and we work around that.
This is absolutely beautiful work.
Thank you.
I think that you probably get a sense of pride because you're able to sign these things, and
Do what?
you probably have a sense of pride in the
Yeah,
fact that you put your name on there.
Down here, so.
Oh, that's neat. Well, it's good to visit with you. When you talk about a belt sander, this puppy is, this is one of them. Yep, this is a huge sander here. These little things are clock pieces. Gives you an idea how they look as they're getting produced and turned into clocks. Then they get put together a little bit. You can see the result of some of these as they're about halfway through the process. Here's one that's got clamps all over it being glued together. And then some more parts up here. See there, right by the window. And we come down here and you can see this one has got the longer clamps on it. And then once it gets a little stain on it, then it turns into a more finished product. Here's with the face, stain. He's doing something with the back on this one, but it's getting real close to being a clock.
Yeah. He said in this area, this is where they make the dining room table. Only one man does this. They don't rotate people because it's a very, very fine process. And the fellow that's doing it now, his father did it for over 30 years. Oh, yeah. In one place, they're not interchangeable. Other people rotate around.
Another one is where the button on the next one goes.
Samples of making things with wood lathe. He's got a pattern there and he just follows it. That's turning into
all the patterns on the wall.
Turning into a little spindle. Well, these are the patterns hanging up on the wall. The lathe will follow the pattern and cut it just like these are. This man is working with a beautiful piece of walnut here that's been glued together. You can see he's drilling some holes in it for
the grooves, I think it's in.
He's making the grooves. Okay. Clean that groove out a little bit.
Together.
What is this going to be when you finish it?
Slant front China cabinet.
Pardon me?
Yeah, slant front. I got 5 of them here.
Okay. Very good. Very nice. How does that cut? Is that a vibrator thing on there?
There's a drill bit inside and it cleans it out.
Okay.
There's a slot in the back of the square bit that it...
I wondered how you cut square. I'm going to check the size of this huge belt that sands thing. It's a big sander. You can see underneath some of the belts that are on there. It's called a stroke sander. Okay, here's the craftsman putting the clock together. You can see how he's clamping these things down as he glues them on. There he is, being a craftsman. This is the grandmama of all bandsaws right here. Get a feel for the size on this puppy.
Pieces scattered all over the building.
There it
Any
is.
questions, folks?
Large saw.
On your way.
I'm not sure what the deal is here, but we've got 6 Tauruses in a row. I think they give these away if you meet your production quota or something. In the Amana Colonies, they're one of the things they do since they've got into production of quality products. This is the factory where they manufacture the Amana ranges and microwaves and refrigeration units and so forth. So just an incredible place. Now this mural shows the history of the Amana story. It was from on May 24th, 1934. Some of the things that Amana produced. Got the radio show, sales. You can see the Amana label on many things. Here's a thermostat. It has the Amana label on it.
Amana switchboard.
Forstner Scholarship Foundation includes a lot of things from Amana. This is a very nicely done mural. Well, today is the 5th of May, 1998. We're in the Amana factory. Here are some people in interview for a job inside the Amana office. Here's the things they make. It shows the ranges, and the radar range. Commercial dryers. There's a little kitchen set up. Shows you the side-by-side freezer, refrigerator, stove, cooking stove with out burners on the top, and of course the radar range, and a lot of refrigerators. My brother. This shows how this works. Assembly line for refrigerators. Unauthorized version of filming these things in line. This is production. This is Production America right here in Amana Colonies, Iowa. Amana does produce some good air conditioning equipment. The hotel we stayed in last night had Amana products. Can't imagine that, since it was Amana, Iowa. Here we've got some microwaves. So these are fine quality products. Right here in the process. Here's Big Brother of the Amana factory, production facility, corporate office. Here we are approaching the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum. Okay, here we are at the Herbert Hoover Presidential Library and Museum in Iowa. This is West Branch, Iowa. Beautiful building and grounds. We haven't gone in yet, but we're getting ready to.
Scheduled for it in 10 minutes or something.
This is the mural outside the Herbert Hoover Museum. Nice job. My engineering career was over forever. I was on the slippery road to public life.
There's a lady giving a tour to some school kids. They started a little bit ago, so that if you want to join up with them, you can do that.
Possibility. Okay.
These depict Herbert Hoover as he went through his life and became an old man and revered statesman.
Weeds, perfectly good. And weeds have seeds. Took those little seeds, that's why their loads are small. It's hard to find lots of seeds. Ground them up and made flour. Now you need a binder because flour just falls apart. It blows away. In Iowa, the binder we use is milk, sugar, a bit of butter, and yeast. The binder on these loaves of bread is horse manure. And that's what they were eating. And so proud that she could make that for her family. One of the loaves of bread, that mom couldn't find weeds, but she found sawdust. I wanted to say thank you, and there is no money, and there's nothing left in your houses. They've given it all away just to get food. You sold it. But they had the flour sacks, they had needles and thread. These moms, because in those days only mothers sewed down.
Samples of the flour that Hoover arranged to have sent to Africa and to Europe following the World War II to provide American relief for the war-ravaged nations of Europe.
And Mr. Hoover comes home to the United States.
These are embroidered flour sacks that were sent from
1918.
Belgium and other countries as a thanks to Uncle Hoover for the work that he performed in bringing relief to Belgium and other countries that were ravaged during the war.
Horse and a wagon, we put it on, and we deliver it from door to door.
Contributed by the people of Indiana. This is a plaster mask of Herbert Hoover done at the time of the Versailles Peace Conference in Paris, 1919.
Funds that, and through them we're able to get, you know, these current scholarship books, which we probably wouldn't be able to afford otherwise.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah.
And
I know you're administered by the
National Archives and Records Administration.
Yeah.
There are 9 presidential libraries.
Yeah, this is the 5th one I've been to, and so I always like to see the collections and things like that. And most people wouldn't be interested, or even know about what's going on. But it's amazing the similarities between even federal and state. I mean, how many ways can you do things? So this is all your.
Don't have a lot of bugs, contrary. It's killed one. We don't have a lot.
We don't have any problem at all. It's so dry and
we have a few, but we don't have a infestation problem.
Our problem is our low humidity runs 10%, 15%. We have to.
You have to supplement it. We have to tone it down.
And you have to bring it down.
Except in the winter where we have to bring it up. So and we have those crossover periods where it's really difficult to manage.
In the east,
Belgium. I'm not too worried about it because I can't hurt this too much in its present form. But I'm going to do a lot of work. Right now I'm doing tape removal. If we move to hand tape, tape is the worst.
Oh, I know it is.
I'm going to take this off with methyl cellulose. It'll take me, probably do 6-inch strip, it'll take me 2-3 hours. And in between, I'll also help the researcher and do some other.
Going to use Scotch tape.
Oh, we hate tape. We hate tape. Reading room and some in-house finding aids and things like that.
And researchers come back here to use the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like you have your vertical files back here.
Yes, and we're killing those off.
Okay.
Yeah, there aren't too many left of that anymore, and most of that's online anymore.
Yeah.
But we got a new reader. These were our old ones.
Yeah, I remember those.
We've got to find somebody who wants them. It's harder than hell for the government to get rid of anything. You know, it's very difficult.
We donated ours to, little rural libraries and things like that.
I think states have more leeway, but
but for the federal government, you really have to.
Who knows how much it would cost to actually give that away?
Okay.
And
have you been to the FDR for?
I have not been to any of them.
This is very reminiscent of theirs. There's a low ceiling and everything. Yeah.
And we have one level above. These 2 stacks are the archive stacks. These 2 levels, and then above that we have the memorabilia storage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like an isolationist before World War II. Civil libertarians, and I'm not talking in the Lyndon LaRouche sense.
I know what you're talking
classic
about.
sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Like Hoover and Isabel Patterson and Rose Wilder Lane, people like that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of material on people like Charles Lindbergh in other collections. Certainly people from the Hoover administration we'd like to get. We've got Rose Wilder Lane, who was a very atypical woman in her own right, a prominent journalist, a feminist, and from that area, also the first biographer of Herbert Hoover, world traveler, adventurer, and also the daughter of Laura Ingalls Wilder. And so we have Loringo's Wilder papers, and they're
Okay,
wildly
okay.
popular.
Yeah.
We have a lot of
Haven't
scholarship
I can
here
imagine.
done. And it came to us because we went to go get the Rose Wilder Lane papers. And then the donor said, well, what about you want? And I was, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
We didn't even know
Oh,
what
we
was in
do,
the
Joe.
box. And we would go over it and we called them our surprise boxes. I said, well, we got a few minutes, let's go look in the surprise box. Started taking stuff. It's amazing what you find. And to this day, we're still getting things that we haven't processed. This is very nicely done.
Now it turned into a minority of our collections. You know, there's certain 2 or 3 people would go into a country with the backing of the United States, mostly military personnel who were given leaves, extended leaves in order to fulfill this type of duty. So officers were typically given this duty.
Yeah.
They would go into a place like Armenia or Georgia right after the collapse of the Russian Empire and try and organize relief efforts with little more than the authority of the United States government, no troops, things like that, but they had access to food and things like that, and that gave them tremendous bargaining power in starving countries. And they were able to organize incredibly effective relief efforts.
This is the photo lab. This is one of the 2 presidential libraries that still has an active photo lab. Here's a quote that's found on the floor of the museum. Let you read it. Okay, here's some early pictures of President Hoover. Called him Bert. Bert is a boy.
Started his life over colonies fishing.
He was an engineering student at Stanford, became a mining engineer, and made a fortune as a mining engineer. That fortune, as he entered public life, and he served as president and all through his public administration without any pay because he was independently wealthy from his vocation. This shows President Hoover as a young swain.
First thing I've ever seen is this good.
Herbert Hoover went overseas as a mining engineer to Australia early in his career and received a pay of $20,000 for doing that, which in those years was a considerable sum. This launched him into a very professional career as a mining engineer, which resulted in his making a fortune, which sustained him through his public years so that he could serve without any reimbursement or pay from the government. Following his experience in Australia, he came back to the United States and then went to China to serve as a mining engineer there. This shows his wife, Lou Hoover, who was his faithful companion until she passed away in the late 40s. This portrays a picture of how the world was suffering following World War I. And Herbert Hoover was actually a great humanitarian that enabled food to be sent to Europe to feed the hungry and have them return to a stable, normal life. This shows flour sacks of the type that were sent over to Europe for that purpose. This is a picture of the Hoover House in Washington, D.C., probably when Herbert Hoover was Secretary of Commerce, shortly after the World War I, which appointment he accepted from Woodrow Wilson to help rebuild the European countries that were ravaged during that time. Here's the Hoover home in Palo Alto, which is near Stanford University, which was completed in 1920. You can see Hoover was independently wealthy and had plenty of money to do what he did. This shows a picture of Herbert Hoover at work in Washington, D.C. Well, this is a Maytag washing machine, 1920s vintage. I'll go take a look at it here. Great grief, there's George's fingers in there after going through the ringer on it. Don't get your fingers too close to that, remember? Remember what happened to you. This is just kind of some...
All you need is do-re-mi, and it made a lady out of Lizzie. Since he lifted up her face, she travels at an awful pace, and it made a lady out of Lizzie. She's not like Calvin Coolidge, she's a girl who likes her fun. She says imagine anyone who doesn't choose to run. Good for sister, nice for ma, everybody rides but pa, and it made a lady out of Lizzie.
Little period music. Here's Steamboat Willie from Walt Disney's production of Steamboat Willie in 1926. Here's President Hoover at his desk. It's not really him. It's only a statue. But it looks like him. In 1931, construction work began on the Hoover Dam, a result of the compact and one of the engineering marvels of the modern age. Herbert Hoover was president when this took place. One of his campaign things was to elect Herbert Hoover and assure the Boulder Dam. Here we have some memorabilia from the desk of President Hoover. This is the first presidential telephone. It was installed on President Hoover's desk. Here's a memo in 1930 to the president concerning the crime boss of Chicago, Scarface Al Capone. This shows President Hoover out fishing, which was one of his delights to do. This is not uncommon for him to be wearing a suit while he engages in this activity. Note the water here. This was done by having one of the workers come in and put plexiglass down and then pour this gelatin mass over the top of it and plug it into the wall, plug a hairdryer into the wall right over here where this plug is, and then blow that dry with his wife's hairdryer. It took about 3 hours and he had a very, very sore back by the time he finished that. Here's Big Brother as he kicks back a little bit and rests his feet from this walk around the museum. I think we're going to go out now. This is the doorway, which is the entrance into the Herbert Hoover Presidential Museum. And it's the seal of the President of the United States. This is the grounds for the museum and archives for the Herbert Hoover Museum. Gives you an idea how this is kept and how pretty and nice it is. It's a nice day. It's a little bit overcast, but it's sure pleasant. This is a statue of Isis, the goddess of life, right here on the grounds of the Presidential Museum and Archives. Okay, here's a plaque that shows that this is Herbert Hoover's birthplace, for which he said, "This cottage where I was born is physical proof of the unbounded opportunity of American life." It's not very big. There's the restroom facility out back.
That's the blacksmith shop.
And his father owned a blacksmith shop, and there it is, right over here. This is the inside of the home where Herbert Hoover was born. Kind of austere and kind of small. Oh, there's a lady in here.
Don't tape me.
Oh, okay.
And I found them.
This is the kitchen for this little house. Not very big, but did the job. This is a walk up to the site of President Hoover and his wife Lou, their grave sites. It's just absolutely beautiful here. Give you an idea of what the grounds look like. You can see, looking back, there's the museum and library right back down there. Oh, this is the actual gravesite of President Herbert Hoover and his wife Lou Henry Hoover. It's interesting to note that he outlived her by 20 years, and still she was 70 years old when she passed away.
He died the same year as President Nixon.
What's that, Judge?
He said Herbert Hoover was born 2 years before Grandma Nielsen and died the same year that he did, in 1964. Thought that was a coincidence.
Yeah.
She was 88 and he was 90. You're reviewing it or you're filming?
Well, I'm just going to record a little bit here. This is, we're headed directly south on Highway 218 and the very southeastern corner of Iowa, en route to Keokuk. We're in Lee County, just across from Fort Madison, which is approximately 9 miles to our east, which is over this way. Now you can see some pretty country here. This is just nice country. Nice and green. It's overcast today, but it's very pleasant outside. Here's a typical farm for what you see in this area. Well, George, what do you think of the Presidential Library? And
oh, well, the Presidential Library was, you're not really filming. Yes, you are.
You can tell if I'm filming.
Well, here, I'll put on an act for you now. It was wonderful. It exceeded my expectations, and I was very, very enlightened and fulfilled to be here. surprise, pleasant surprise. One of these things maybe every American should do one time or another in his life.
All right.
What do you think of it, Vince?
Well, I thought it was great too. Actually, I was really impressed. You know, I changed my whole view on President Hoover. I had a perception about President Hoover that was imbued early in my life by my dad. And that lady that was the tour guide hit it right on the head when she said, how do you feel about him? How do you feel about President Hoover? He caused this depression, this Wall Street to fall. And the kids said they were angry. That's the way the American people felt about it. They blamed poor old Herbert Hoover, when in fact, he was a humanitarian and a great man. You know, he worked in all his government life without any recompense, without any paycheck. I think that's exceptional. Well, there's my 2 bits. Okay, we're in a town called Donaldson, Iowa. Donaldson. That's a double L in there. Big old yeller house. Kind of fun.
Yeah, look at these folks on the porch over there.
Yeah, got some folks on the porch. They're waving at people. Let's wave at them. Oh, there you see it. Huh? Just middle America. Oh, just big houses and little houses and people live here.
Look at that.
Well, here we are as we head south into Keokuk, Iowa. We're in a very bright, sunshiny day, except we're driving into one heck of a storm. Just as I talk, the raindrops are starting to fall on the window, and there's a rainbow right at the front part of our road. We're going to hit it like you wouldn't believe in a matter of a few minutes.
Right at the, we're going to find the pot of gold.
Now, first we're going to find the pot of gold. The windshield's already getting speckled here, but it's a-coming, it's a-coming. And I'll give you an update on this in a few minutes. Now you can get a feel for the rain just a little bit. We're zipping along here. Pretty close to Keokuk. This is Keokuk. Just a little shot there of the gas prices. I don't think I've seen gas for 95 cents for long. There it is, the Mississippi River. As we go across. Oh, that's bridge. Damn. It turns.
That's a lot.
It's a big end down there.
Railway station. There's water
Through here, the visitor center, 3 miles away. We're about 2.5 miles out of Nauvoo. Here's a great, mighty Mississippi. So we approach the city. Beautiful. Okay, here's a shot of the river. That's Iowa across the river. And on this side is Illinois. And it's still coming up on Nauvoo, Illinois. This is our room and our guest house here in Nauvoo, Illinois. It's called the White House. Here we have the Smith room, and on our side we have the Young room, referring to Joseph Smith and Brigham Young of early pioneer fame, early leaders in the church. This gives you an idea of what our room looks like. This is just fun and nice. Just fantastic. Okay.